Hello, volunteers. This video is for our kindergarten through 4th grade volunteers for the first week back, February 7th. I'm so excited to be back with our volunteers, be back with our families, be back with our kids, get back in the swing of things and never have to close down again. I can't wait. I am super pumped. For right now, we are going to keep doing the same thing for all of the elementary kids just to keep it simple in case we ever have a week where we don't have enough volunteers and we can combine. And we're just trying to keep it simple as we start back. So this month is all about kindness, showing others that they are valuable by how you treat them. And the memory verse for this month is Colossians 3:12. You are God's chosen people. You are holy and dearly loved. So put on tender mercy and kindness as if they were your clothes. Don't be proud. Be gentle and patient. So just how to treat others with kindness. So this week the Bible story is all about being humble and kind. Does anybody else want to sing that song? And Tim McGraw fans, whoop whoop. And it's from Ephesians 4:32. And Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind and tender to one another. Forgive one another, just as God forgave you because of what Christ has done. So this week is all about being humble and kind. And our bottom line is be kind to others because God is kind to you. So that's what this week is going to be all about. So in your rooms, you'll have a little whiteboard with the schedule. Again, we're not going to do small group carts right at first until we get enough volunteers to have solid small groups. So I just kind of have it set up in the front of the room like this. So the first activity is in the first bin, the second activity, third activity, fourth activity, fifth activity. Now you can take these activities and go into small groups and do them in small groups if you have enough volunteers. If not, we might have to kind of run it like a classroom for right now with like one lead teacher and then other people are kind of assisting. That is not ideal. I would rather have small group leaders so that you're making relationships with those kids. But we're just kind of go with what we have until we can get some volunteers established. So our intro activity, just before kiddos come, make sure that you take a few minutes just to pray for them. Man, our kids have just been through the ringer this year. So just pray that they would be excited to come back and that we can teach them about kindness this week. Then as kids come in, try to greet them by name, ask what school they go to, if they're excited for the Super Bowl. Maybe some of our older kids might have an opinion about that. And then for the icebreaker, you're going to play a game like Simon Says, but it's going to be based on what the kids look like or what they're wearing. So for example, if you have brown hair, do 5 jumping jacks, or if you're wearing a red shirt, rub your belly. You can allow kids to take turns. You can let them be Simon, and here's some action ideas that they can do to play Simon Says. Then when service starts at 9 and 11, your opening activity is the mirror game. So you don't need any materials. You're going to pair kids off. Try to keep them socially distanced, and you're going to have the kids face each other, and one partner is going to be the leader, and that leader is going to do motions, and the follower has to mirror them or mimic what they're doing. If kids get stuck, they could wave hello, do jumping jacks, do a dance move, pat their head, and then after a few minutes, let the partner switch. And if time allows, you can even switch up partners. And then before you head to large group, you'll just say, you guys did a great job mimicking whatever action your partner did. And you did it simply because that is what your partner did. So let's head to large group and hear about how we can follow God's actions, okay? I know for some of our older kids, it says K-1 up at the top, but we're just all doing the same thing for this month. So then you'll head to large group where you will hear your story. When you get back from large group, you're going to do a review game. And it's going to be a kindness catcher. It's like the cootie catchers, the little fortune tellers that we used to make in school. So each kid is going to get a kindness catcher activity page. It looks like this. And you're going to have kids write actions in the 8 blank triangles in the middle of their kindness catchers. So here's the blank triangles. They're going to write actions in the middle of those. So it could be give a fist bump, sing a song, give a compliment, tell a joke. It could be do a burpee, do a jumping jack, count to 10. And once kids have written their actions, they're supposed to be kind actions. A burpee would not be kind. Okay, they have to think of kind things. So wave hello, give a high five, things like that. Then they're going to fold their kindness catcher. So hopefully you guys all know how to make one of those. Hopefully you remember from like elementary school. If you don't, then I will be around to show you. There's some little instructions here that kind of remind you how. And then you're going to let their kids use their kindness catcher on a friend. So they're going to choose a letter from the word show, which that will be on the outside. And then whatever color the letter is, the kids will spell out that color. So R-E-D, and they'll move it up and down. And then they'll end up on the letters for either kind or ness. And they'll choose a letter that has a number on it. And then they'll move their finger that many numbers. And then they choose a letter and lift the flap. And whatever the kind action is, that's what they have to do. So it just says, wow, these kindness catchers were so fun to make and play with. The amazing thing is that you get to take them home and use them with your family and friends. And whenever you use them, remember to be kind to others because God is always kind to you. And if you have time, make it personal. Tell kids about a time when someone showed you kindness and reminded you of how God has been kind to you. And I think I had, which this was for the older kids, there's one other activity. Sorry. I feel like the kindness catcher is going to take up enough time. So that's probably what we'll do, is just the kindness catcher. Okay. So then you have the memory verse game. And all of the memory verse game is you have these different pages that have the memory verse on them. So you're going to tape those up around your space. And then you're going to have kids practice just like looking at the different walls, reading it. And they can practice reading it in a silly voice. They can read it in a pirate voice, a high voice, a deep voice. Then they can make up motions to it as they read it to help them start to memorize that verse for this month. And you're just going to say, in order for us to be kind, we need to remember that God is kind to us and that he loves us more than we could ever imagine. In fact, God chose us to be his. That sure is kind, right? And it says, we all do wrong things sometimes, but no matter what, God still chooses us over and over again. How kind is that? We are dearly loved by him, and I can't think of anything that is more kind than God loving us. So what are some ways that we know God is kind to us? He sent us Jesus, he chose us, he made the world, he gave us a family, he created us. What are some ways we can be kind to others because God is kind to us? Sharing our toys, doing chores, writing letters, giving hugs. And just ask some questions to get kids to think about what we can do to be kind to others. And just remind them our bottom line, be kind to others because God is kind to you. So then you will just close it down by praying with your small group. You'll need your little kindness catchers, and you're going to ask each kid to hold their kindness catcher and tell you about one way God has shown his kindness to them and one way they can show kindness to others. And then you'll just close down with a prayer asking that God would help each of them remember his kindness so that we can be kind to others. That's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for volunteering. I promise we are working on getting more small group leaders in. We are kind of in that process when we shut down again. But it is definitely a top priority to get back to full strength for our kids ministry volunteers. I know this Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday, and I think the high is like 14 degrees. So I'm not sure exactly how many kids we will be expecting. But one thing I know for sure is that God always has it under control, and I just trust him, and I know it's going to be awesome, and that the families that are here are going to be blessed by you guys volunteering. And I am super pumped to get back and see everyone. Love you guys. Thank you for serving. We'll see you on Sunday.